What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about potentially bad news for the Splinter Cell remake. Now, as you guys may know, this has been confirmed, actually confirmed that there is going to be a remake of the very first Splinter Cell game, the one that released back in 2002. Now, that was met, at least by me, and I think by many other people, with, all right, this is awesome. You know, Ubisoft jumping in, and let's do this, and let's get a good Splinter Cell game. Let's just go back to the original, and who knows where this leads, right? Maybe it can lead to new Splinter Cell games or whatever. So everybody was kind of on board. Well, now today, this was actually spotted by PlayStation Universe. It was literally a job posting, and it's a job posting looking for a script writer, somebody to work with the storyboard, basically, team. And the job posting says this: using the first Splinter Cell game as our foundation, we are rewriting and updating the story for a modern day audience. We want to keep the spirit and themes of the original game while exploring our characters and the world to make them more authentic and believable. As a scriptwriter at Ubisoft Toronto, you will join the narrative team and help create a cohesive and compelling narrative experience for a new audience of Splinter Cell fans. Here's the thing. This almost never works. Whenever I personally hear, modern day audience, that immediately is a red flag. It just flat out is. There's actually somebody on Twitter that put it really, really well, and I want to read his tweet out. This comes from Ryan. Reminder, when you talk about remaking your favorite game, movie, series, etc. for modern day audience, they never ever mean for you. They just mean for themselves or those who will never even play it. They know it means less money, and they don't care. It's for the message, basically, is better or bigger than money. And it's really hard, in my opinion. Now, I respect people who don't believe that I have nothing against you, so long as you have nothing against me. I can respect you not believing that. I personally do. I really don't like to hear those, basically the three words, modern day audience. And I think that tweet by Ryan really signifies it, that who are you making it for? Because, all right, here's the thing for me, even if you just take a couple steps back, you're remaking the first game. You're literally bringing the first game, and you're putting it on modern day consoles for a modern day audience, but it's still the same game. If you're going to change the game, you're not remaking it. Now, I guess the term remake, you could argue, well, there's some liberties that you're allowed to do there. Honestly, though, I'm not in agreement with that. I think if you're remaking a game, and that's why I'm pretty selective with games that I want to get remade. In fact, if you go back, I've talked about Destroy All Humans. I think, they've obviously done Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, and they've remade them. My idea for the next Destroy All Humans game is not to remake the other two, because I really don't want them changed. So if you remake the only other two Destroy All Human games, in my opinion, they're pretty weak entries. And I don't think if you're going to remake them, yeah, you may make them feel nicer in terms of the actual controls, but you got to keep pretty much everything else the same. And if you do that, you're just remaking two mediocre games. So my opinion is you stop. You actually don't remake those, and you make maybe, say, a new Destroy All Humans game. Now, yes, that's a different franchise, but the theme there is the same. I like to pick games, or at least in my opinion, pick games that are solid, and that when you're remaking them, you're just literally making it feel better, right? I remember the old Splinter Cell games. They didn't feel all that amazing back then. I don't know if they'll feel all that amazing now. So you're going to have to work on the actual feel, of moving the character, in terms of visuals and maybe some gameplay, but you don't rework the story. The story is the same. We had this issue, arguably, with the Knights of the Old Republic remake, hiring Sam Maggs, who hates Star Wars fans and has gotten into a lot of fights on Twitter against Star Wars fans. Why are you redoing the story of these games when the story is part of what makes them good? And also, I don't love that they try to have it both ways. So they say we want to keep the spirit and themes of the original game while exploring our characters and world to make them more authentic and believable. So what that basically means is you're going to keep, the gameplay is not going to change in terms of what you're actually doing. The characters aren't going to change, but you're going to basically rewrite them, and you're going to rewrite the story. Now, could that be reading too far into it? Sure. Maybe it's lesser than what I'm saying, right? Maybe it's something that you can't really all that much identify. With that being said, I don't know about that. If you read, because, I don't know about you guys. The game came out in 2002. I don't think I played it in 2002. I would have been 6 years old. I did play the earlier games. I don't remember the story. If you look back into the story, they do some things with different countries, let's say. And if you look at what Tencent is doing with Ubisoft, it wouldn't surprise me if the part about the Chinese that are in the, and I don't even know if YouTube is, allows me to say that, but I'll kind of stop there, but I'll let you guys connect the dots. In my opinion, the whole like make it believable, whatever, is Tencent upset, or is there something there maybe that they don't like that specific part of the story? Because otherwise, again, like why would you change the story? But even again, if you don't believe all that stuff, that's totally fine. Again, I respect you as long as you respect me. But it's just, I mean, I really second that Ryan, the tweet we read, where it's like this almost never is. I mean, they literally say it like it's for like almost a new era of Splinter, or they say for a new audience of Splinter Cell fans. What does that even mean? You can't be a new audience if you're a Splinter Cell fan. You're either going for new people or you are a Splinter Cell fan. Now, you can kind of graduate, right? You can be a new fan now, a new audience member now, and then become a Splinter Cell fan. But that sentence doesn't even make sense. For a new audience of Splinter Cell fans, I guess what they're saying is they literally want new people. But here's the thing. When you make these games, your first, I say wave of customers should be the original people. When you do the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, if your main goal, the primary goal, is getting new people, you've lost your mind and you've lost your way. You should be going after the originals. Once you have the originals, because by the way, the base game is good and there's a reason why it became a franchise, then you can work on getting new audiences as well, because that is an important part. You don't just remake a game for the old timers, because you also need new people in order to continue the franchise. I would say the same thing about Sly Cooper. If you're ever going to remake those games, the old fans should be number one, but followed behind them should be new people. You're trying to attract people that didn't see it back then, maybe weren't born back then. That's what, so the way they put it is, well, screw the old fans. We're going after only new people. And that is absolutely, again, movies, TV shows, games. Whenever you hear that stuff, when has that ever been a good thing? To say, well, we don't really need the old people, we need only new people. So let's redo this game for modern day audiences. I'm not a fan, and the more I talk about it, the more I get upset. So hopefully they don't do anything really stupid. I can't imagine how this goes well. I haven't really seen much backlash on my point of view. It seems like even the, VGC, Video Game Chronicles, they did a tweet about it. Theirs seems to be like the most publicized, let's say on Twitter. All the comments are kind of with this mentality of this is a bad idea. Like even just saying this out loud is a bad idea. So I don't know, I don't know if they thought that this kind of reception would happen. They should, because it happens every time, and it's just going to get worse because more of these things do this and then it fails. So of course this is going to happen more often, and so we'll see where it goes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on the next one.